Okay, so this is session 2 of our National School Redesign opportunity. This is the second design session, and today we're going to be doing empathy mapping and headlining. We're so happy you're here. Okay, so we're going to start with a connection prompt. And, you might remember that last time we talked about noticing and reflecting, right? So, this time we have that same picture that noticing and reflecting. We have this cat looking out on the world, and in his world, he sees a lion, or the lion's looking out on his world and seeing a cat, and they're noticing and reflecting, right? So, one of the things we had to do since last time was to ask us to go out in our world and ask a couple of people to share a story of when they saw us at our best. Remember that? So I'm asking if we would each share our name and describe an adjective about a feeling you're bringing with you today from those stories that people shared with you about when you are your best. Okay. So I'm going to model that. I'm going to put us back in the gallery first. Okay. So I'm Linda, and some adjectives I'm bringing from those stories are admiration and joy. And I'm gonna pass it to Krista.
Good morning. My name's Krista. Yeah, sorry, obviously. And then it was kind and caring. And then we have a couple people on our video today, so I'm gonna pass.
You want me to go first? So I'm Stevie Maestas, and things that came up are compassionate and courageous.
Hi, I'm Vicky and I'm resilient and what was that? Courageous.
And then
She's a student.
we're gonna pick Rebecca.
Hi, is my volume working? Okay, good. Um, and I'm Rebecca, Gwinnett County, with Mr. Valentine, Dr. Green, and Sherry Gilbert. But enthusiastic.
Do you want to pass?
I'll pass it to Mr. Valentine.
Good afternoon, Rebecca. Thank you. What I came up with and heard was compassionate and a version of confident. I'm going to go with Dr. Green.
Well, I was just real thankful because I saw Rebecca and Nathan and Sherry all get on this meeting, so that was great. And then some of the response I got back in different contexts was innovative. And I will pass this to Sherry.
Hello, yes, Sherry Gilbert from North Gwinnett Middle School, and I would say, as far as how I felt after speaking to a few people, was just encouraged and enthusiastic about about the work, and just excited.
Sherry, you get to pick.
You're right. I'm so sorry. I need to pass. I pass to Sean.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sean Morris. I'm at Mark Armijo Academy. I'm the executive director. And kind of what I heard from people was just positive and calm or steady. So those were the adjectives that I will throw out today. And I will pass to Maria.
Hello, everyone. I'm Maria Baltmeyer, and I'm with the Revon Graduate Center at Hopkins. And the two words I would say that's the stories that I read. The two things would be the two adjectives. It would be humble and warm. And I am going to go with Jody.
Hiya. So I would say empowering and hopeful. Sorry, I'll pass it to Krista. Oh, did you guys already go in that group? Sorry. Then Francesca.
Hello, everyone. I'm Francesca from South Gwinnett High School, and the stories that came up were the words creative and passionate. And I think everybody has did Sherry go?
I think Lisa Ortiz and her team.
Okay, passing it to Lisa.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lisa Ortiz from Health Leadership High School here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And some of the words that blissful, ecstatic, and optimistic. And I'm going to pass it to my team over here, my 4 students. You want to go ahead and go first?
My name is Jaden, and I'm a student here in Health Leadership, and the adjective that I took from it is positivity and inspiration.
Oh, my name is Greg. I'm a student here in Health Leadership, and the 2 words I chose were creative and hopeful.
I'm a student at Health Leadership High School, and the 2 adjectives I chose is content and grateful.
Hi, my name is Karina. I'm a student at Health Leadership High School, and the 2 adjectives I chose was joy and excitement.
All right. Thank you. Did everyone else go? I'm not sure. I think we got everyone. Miss Linda?
I think we need Jerry and Greg.
Greg, would you like to go?
Hi, my name is Greg Howell, and I'm with EGC at Hopkins. And my adjectives are creative and enthusiasm. And I'll pass it to Jerry.
Thanks so much, Greg. I'm Jerry with EGC, and my words are inclusive and receptive. I truly value all voices.
Did we miss anybody? How was it to ask people to tell you a story about when you were your best? Anybody want to share? Hey, you don't have to share. We're going to go to our slides for a minute. All right. And let me just move this out of my own way so I can see what I'm doing. Yep, you got to go too. Okay. Okay, you may remember that we have 2 themes that you could pick from this year. And one of those themes, we really were heavy last time on fostering connection, right? And that's the idea of designing a series of experiences that really allow for genuine or authentic connection between individuals, right? We talked about that. And then the other one this year is about pathways to a life worth living, right? A series of experiences that might help me to discover or have insight about some vocation beyond high school that might align with my personality, spirit, okay? And we also said you could pick your own. You don't have to pick one of these 2 themes, right? Okay, well, today we're going to lean a little more on the right-hand side because last time we leaned a little more on the left-hand side on connection. So today we're going to lean a lot on vocation, okay? And so I wonder how many people may have heard of Ikigai. Anybody? You can take yourself off mic and say yes if you did or do. Ikigai is a Japanese philosophy or way of being, all right? And it's really about, it really means having a life worth living or a reason for living, okay? And so you see on the right-hand side circles, right? And in the middle, there's a space for a source of Ikigai, a source for a reason for living, a source, right? And then on the outside, what that source, what feelings it brings up for me. So you may take this from your stories, or you may take it from something else if you wish, but your stories are top of mind, okay? And I think Jerry put a PDF in the chat if you want to use it, or a Word, but if you don't want to use it, that's fine too. You can just make 2 circles. I'm asking us to just take a minute right now and do this ourselves. We can do it from one of the stories people shared with us or other source. And in the middle, you're going to put one of the things that is your ikigai, one of the things that is your reason for living. And you see, I have an example, and I put join Zoom with this team. I would put join Zoom with this team in the middle because that's one of my ikigais, right? And then what does it make me feel? And I put joyful, hopeful, and known. So I'll just be quiet, and I'm asking each of us if we would do just one of those right now. We all have many, many sources of what make life worth living, right? Our sources of a reason for being. And you're just going to hang on to that, okay? You may or may not refer to it at a later time. I want to talk to you a little bit about this ikigai idea, okay? There's some resources on the Nexus Everyone Graduates page that has all of the showcase stuff. There's some resources there. One of the resources, there's a video where a Japanese researcher talks to you about ikigai. And where this picture comes from, this drawn picture comes from him. What I want to tell you is this. A lot of people have turned this idea into a commodity or commercialized it, okay? So even on the internet where we have the link to the Calm app where they talk about ikigai a little bit, they say that where all those circles interconnect, like the very center where they all overlap, that is your ikigai. But the Japanese researcher and the film that is on the website will, if you listen to it, will tell you that that is just something that happened in the West to be able to kind of make an idea visible and sell it. In Japan, all of those circles and everything in each of the circles, even where they don't overlap, is your ikigai, right? All of it. And so it's what you love, what the world needs, what you can be good at, what you can be, all of that is an opportunity to know, truly know, what is my ikigai, okay? So this same researcher, in helping us to think about this, if this might be something that's useful for us in thinking about vocations and experiences that might lead me to something that I might bring into the world, that might also be something that I would enjoy doing. He says we should start small, just like we did today, right? Just start with one small thing, maybe something that somebody else notices about us. The next one, he says, is accept who you are. Each of us has a contribution to make, right? And we are exactly made to make that contribution, just as we are. So super important that we begin to really take that in, right? That release yourself from expectations of, I want to be this or I'm going to do that, and really accept who you are right now in this present moment. Harmony and sustainability, that knowing that, just like we're talking about with the connections, right? We're all interconnected, all one energy field, right? So always trying to achieve an awareness of where am I in that connection continuum so that I can help promote harmony. Enjoy the little things. And again, be in the here and now, which I mentioned when I said about being present. So those are kind of his ideas, but the big idea of this, and I hope if you get a chance, you'll look at the video, is really all of these things are our ikigai and our reason for being here. So that was another example of how we need to balance this needs of self along with the needs of this generative ecosystem we're making, right? Because it's life-giving and it's waiting to manifest. It's waiting to manifest partly through those experiences you guys are going to prototype, right? Okay, why is this important? This is an infographic from Positive Psychology, right? And this is just another way to show every time you do something for you, you are benefiting your community. I want to say that again because it's so important. Every time you do something for you, to benefit your well-being, to benefit your financial picture, to benefit your overall self, when you take good care of you, that is taking good care of your community. And this is an infographic that shows the ripple effect of that, right? Time allows things to change. So in time, you see an immediate effect of being kind to you. You may have saw an immediate effect of reading a story somebody gave you about when you're at your best, right? You might have had an immediate effect when you read that because that was something self-compassion, being kind to yourself, saying, hey, tell me about how you see me, right? Okay. Now, since last we met, you started to do some shadowing. You started to do some interviewing. Some of you are going to be further along than others, but it doesn't matter because we're all going to be in different places along the journey, okay? But what we're going to do right now is we're going to do some initial empathy mapping. So people that are in a room with their team are going to be, we're going to make a break. Jerry is going to make a breakout room, but you're going to be in that. It's just going to be you and your team. People who aren't in a room together, but are all from Gwinnett County are going to go in the same breakout room so they can collaborate. And I think the rest of us are going to stay in the main room. Is that okay, Jerry? So we can talk about what our thanks. That we can talk about best use of our time, okay? So you're going to go in this breakout room when we're ready, and probably it's 15 minutes. Are you going to get done? No, you're not going to get done. But you're going to start to have the conversation where you guys are going to share with each other. Oh, this is who I talked to. Oh, this is who I shadowed. Oh, this was the event I went to, okay? One way of doing it is you could make one of these 4 square grids for each group that you talk about, like students, staff, community. It could be about if you all picked a certain event or area of your school. You can't do it wrong. So you could make multiple empathy maps if you choose, or you can put it all in one if you want. What you're going to do is you're going to share what you heard people say, what you saw people do, like maybe they just put their hands together and look frustrated, or maybe they closed their eyes or bowed their head, or maybe they talked about something they do. All of those could go in does. Then anything that people shared with you that were their thoughts, and then feelings, okay? 15 minutes, you're not going to get done. You're just beginning to kind of dump to each other. Here's what happened since last we came together and our experiences. Do you, and Jerry is again, I think, putting in the chat, so you'll have it, there's a little PDF that has this copy of the map, and it also has the prompts. Do you know what we're going to do next? Or is it clear? Or are you confused? Okay, Jerry, let's send the people away that we think we're sending away, and then the rest of us are going to stay. Welcome back. So given that we know that it's not enough time to do the whole process, any comments or thoughts or questions about the empathy mapping?
Miss Linda, I just wanted to say, so this really helped our group here at the school. We focused on something very specific. We zoned into just something within just here at our school. So looking at what in the last, we went as far as the last couple weeks until today of things that were being said at school, things that students or staff think, things that they do, and the way that they feel. Then what we did was we broke it down. We haven't quite gotten to, and this is just a little section. And like you said, we still have, there's a lot more to go in and expand. But we were breaking it down for like our project for as we go to DC. We did where we were talking about a roadmap that we're going to take from the empathy mapping part, and then how do we get from the empathy mapping part with the concerns or things that are being brought up to how are we going to get to the positive and how are we going to come together as a community. When we did that, we just drew the circles and how we're all going to come together. And I'm going to let the students, one of the students, break it down to what we have so far, how we're going to connect it. And that's kind of where we left off. Who would like to go ahead and list the items? Anybody? You want to go ahead?
So the items that we came up with.
Parents.
So we came up with parents, teachers, students, administration, our community, our social, emotional, and trauma.
And it's just how we're going to connect. So we were doing some brainstorming on how we're going to actually connect that so we can work together with what we came up with, the actual mapping of the things that are things that we as a whole can work on together within our community of our school.
And you guys are just right. You're just so right, right? Because we don't know any more than that right now. Right now, the only thing we're doing right now is knowing, just like you said. We're just coming to know, what are we learning about what students feel or think or say or community or, right? So exactly where you are. You're just beginning to get those perspectives. That's beautiful.
Thank you, Miss Linda.
Thank you.
Any wonderings or yes, John.
Linda, we had a very robust conversation, and a lot of the empathy was actually we've got a group where we've got 3 people that were involved last year, and then we got 2 people that are brand new to this, and so there's empathy both directions, and we all recognize that there is a level of ambiguity, and so being just comfortable with that as you're going through the design process. But there were some elements I felt like that all of us sort of jotted down. Nathan spoke about the experiences that the students have and how they're building their infrastructure so that those are really personalized and individualized and in a vertical way. So that when the students are coming up from the elementary to Sherry at the middle and then on to the high school, this is something that they feel is taking place and that they do have choice in their paths to that adult success. And then the other thing too, and it just kind of puts it in a real moment. Francesca shared, if you're in a high school and you got 2,700 students, that the driving force is how do we give 2,700 students choice? And so that begins to be sort of a responsibility that you can't take on by yourself. So you have to have those partners in the business community. You have to have those partners, within your school levels and within your own school. And so, but it was, we're just getting started. We've got some really neat things taking place. And so I'm excited just to listen to some of the really smart people that we have.
Thank you, John. We're so grateful you're with us. If you will allow me, I have a offering to you that you can totally disregard. I wonder if there would be value between now and the next time we come together to just in some way, and it could be a way of a QR code. It doesn't even have to be individual one, but it would be a wonderful thing to find out, what do students feel they already have choice about? Or what does choice mean to them? Or what does choice mean to the community? It would just be that would just be such a playground, right? Because the way the parameters right now, you're right, the parameter, you can't give 2,700 people, right? But reframing this idea is a great possibility and opportunity, right? To get multiple perspectives about what might choice look like. Anyway, you can throw it away. You don't have to keep that idea. I just couldn't help myself.
I wrote it down, so I can't throw it away.
Any questions? Anything from Mark Romeo?
Yeah, so our last session with students, we're doing this with 3 different advisories, and our seniors who participated last year are kind of acting as thought partners and coaches to kind of work on the 2 different concentrations this year of connectedness and pathways to success. So we are a school that practices restorative practices. So we had a connection circle about the pathways to success kind of strand. And our prompt was, what do you define as success, or how do you see yourself being successful after high school? So some of our seniors who led those connection circles are going to share about the empathy mapping experience that we did together, and what kind of came out of that initial experience. And then if you want to just say all of what they were saying, thinking, doing, feeling,
Okay.
and then we'll pass it on.
The students from my connection circle, from the category of what they said, a lot of them said that success was them getting into a good college, and they elaborated on like the career that they wanted to study. And for thinking, some students took a little longer to answer than others, and some seemed unfamiliar, but they were open, a little more open to the idea of college and their future after. And for what they did, some students did seem nervous, but we got good answers still from, and they were able to even if they asked for us to skip them, we were able to go back and they were able to elaborate a little more on what they wanted. And for what they felt, some did feel a little hesitant, and some students were just a little more confident in their answers.
For my group, some said that they wanted to make good money after high school, but they also wanted to go to college, which is like reasonable because like most of them were freshmen and they're not really like thinking about what to do after high school yet. And then
Do you need help reading my writing? Yeah. I just said, you said it was mainly freshmen, so then like thinking about, they weren't yet thinking about their future.
so as I said again, they weren't really thinking about the future. They were more like taking it like as a joke, but as we talked to them more about it, they started feeling like more comfortable and taking it serious. So it really got us like a better idea of like how we could help them.
And then one of our other seniors who participated last year is kind of going to go over some of the main like summarizing points that we took out of the connection circles.
So what we mainly went over was that most of them want a good job and want to go to a good college. So I feel like our main focus will be coming up with ideas for them to expand on that knowledge and different routes that they're able to take.
Yeah, that's what we have on our end so far. And then we've kind of just been brainstorming next steps. So thank you.
That's beautiful. Can't do it wrong, guys. Remember, we're just like in step one. Can't do it wrong. Anybody else want to share? You don't have to. All right. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go back to these slides for a minute. I want to say this, okay? I don't know what I want to do when I grow up. And so it is perfectly okay if ninth graders don't know what they want to do when they grow up. And I also want to say this series of experiences is not going to be about knowing, oh, this is the pathway, okay? This series of experiences is going to be about what might be some experiences, right? Activities, opportunities, engagements, interactions, whatever, that might lead me to some insights about some of those things that are my ikigai. Okay? So I don't want anybody to feel like, oh, we're trying to figure out what somebody's life path is going to be, because we're not. Okay? We're simply trying to provide some experiences that allow us to think about what resonates with us. And if you remember, in that very first time we got together, we talked about that people that other people think are really creative are often just people who've had lots of experiences and they figure out how to connect them. Like lots of entrepreneurs have had lots of different experiences and they just figured out, oh, I can put this with this and then I'll have that. Okay? Resonance. We talk about that. What resonates with me? And you see that picture of that white light there? That's a picture of the reflection of that frequency. See how it prolongs it or makes it brighter? It's figuring out what are the things that resonate with me. And one way to do that is by having some experiences. Okay, I want to tell you what's going to happen next. All right. The next thing that you guys are going to do, and I don't think we're going to have time to be working on it right now, but you're going to do it when you come back together. After you do some more of your empathy mapping, okay, you're going to come back together and you're going to say, okay, what are some headlines that I'm hearing from students? What are some headlines I hear from alumni? What are some headlines that are coming up for maybe for seniors that are mentoring other people that are doing a process, right? Or John talked about partner organizations, right? Or about transportation, or about food, or about anything. Any attribute at all could be in that box, okay? But what you're going to begin to do is take those empathy maps that you're going to keep working on, and then you're going to say, okay, what are the headlines that jump at me? Make sense? Okay. Let me go to the next place that we're going to go, because I want to make sure everybody's good. All right. So that's going to be what's going to happen. We're going to keep empathy mapping, and then we're going to do some headlining or storyboarding, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Here's our next steps between now and when we come together December 3rd, okay? As a team, you keep working on your empathy maps. Some of you are going to keep working on interviews or shadowing or going to events, whatever it might be. Like health leadership talked about, like really understanding how people see their campus, right? So they might be continuing to do that. You're going to decide on, from your empathy mapping and from the experiences you're having, you're going to decide on 1 or 2 headlines that might be just interesting to you to explore more deeply. You can't do it wrong. Trust the process. You're a group. It's going to come, right? And you're going to be like, yeah, we would like to know more about that, right? We would like to understand that better. Yeah, that would be, okay. So you're going to start thinking about that and come up with 1 or 2 headlines. If you can bring 1 or 2 headlines with you December 3rd, that will be awesome. If you can't, we'll work together and we'll get closer, right? Okay, because everything doesn't always happen at the same pace for everybody. Okay, now, just like last time you had an individual thing to do, this time you have an individual thing to do. And I think Jerry's going to put this in the chat as well, some guidance on this. Each of us is going to make a vision board, but the vision board is about what would a compassionate school ecosystem that was designed just for you offer? What kind of experiences might there be in this school ecosystem? So I made mine already so I could give you an example, right? So in my vision board at my school that's designed uniquely for me, that has experiences that I want to describe as joyful and engaging, you see I have this place here where I have some kind of maker space, right? Where I'm able to create things. And over here, I have something that's generating some money for me, okay? I have an internship there, but it could be anything that's generating money for me. I have some travel here. I have the ocean here because I really like the ocean a lot. And I want my generative school ecosystem to provide me a way to interact with the ocean. I have a dog here and people are reading. I like dogs. I like people getting to read to dogs, especially kids if they have to practice reading and they don't like it. So in my generative school ecosystem, there's going to be dogs and there's going to be reading and it's going to be fun. And then I have this intergenerational theater over here, okay? Because I think it would be fun to have people from different generations be able to have maybe a play or something, or maybe a public service. I don't know. But that's mine, right? You're going to make your own. So before you come back together, when you do come back together, you're going to, each one of the members of your team is going to have a vision of what a school that has these experiences that you would describe as joyful will be. Now, I want to check and see. Do you have any questions about that? Do you feel like it's too much to do before December 3rd? The vision board can be, I forgot to say, you can draw stick figures. Okay. You can use like, a PowerPoint like I did and just put pictures on it. You can take magazines. So Jerry put that little guidance document in the chat, but I don't want you to think, oh my gosh, we have to make this elaborate thing. You don't. The thing that's important about it is it should be a reflection of you. And for the headlines, that will mean you guys are going to have to get together as a team a couple of times before we get together again to be able to really come up with a little more definition on your empathy maps and the headlines.
Ms. Linda, I think for us, we're good. I think this is plenty of time to complete what you're asking for us for December 3rd. We're good.
No
Same
question.
on our end as well. We feel good about it.
You guys are the best. All right, well, we're gonna wrap it up then. So let's close with a word. One word you want to close, you want to leave with this group before we move along. My word is oh. And I'm passing it to Greg Howe.
My word is enthusiasm. I'll pass it to Lisa.
Our word is positivity. And I'll pass it to
My word is just like excited.
Mine's encouragement. Mine's excited.
I'm going to say phenomenal. This is going to be phenomenal. Just one word, phenomenal. And I'm going to pass it to John.
Ecosystem. I can't get it out of my head. Sorry. I'm gonna pass it to Rebecca.
Significant. And I'll pass it to Mr. Valentine, of course.
Practical, and I'll pass to Sherry.
Contemplative, and I will pass it to Jerry.
Mine is happy. I'm always happy to be with all of you, and I am going to pass it to Krista.
We are feeling hopeful, and we'll pass to, oh no, Rios Fernandez.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a web of many amazing things. And I'll go left to Abby.
My word is courage.
I'm kind of hidden. My word is intrigued.
For me, I say support.
For me, I say grateful.
And we will pass it to, has Raphael gone yet?
I have not, and someone stole my word, but I'll go with excited. And is there anyone else that hasn't gone?
I haven't gone. I'm
All right, Francesca.
okay. I'm optimistic.
Will you guys raise your hand if you didn't go? I think we have quite a few people that didn't go yet.
Maria.
My word is ikigai. And I'll pass it to Jody.
I love that. I'm going to say agency.
Nathan, did you go?
Sorry, Sean? Did Sean go?
He's
Okay.
hiding with the other group. Did we miss anybody? All right, see you December 3rd. If you need it, everything will be on the web. Greg, probably by the end of the week, you think?
Yes, by the end of the week.
Okay, so be on the internet. If you need anything, let us know. Thanks for coming. See you December 3rd. Same time.